what it is.
What's up? You
Got your person in your...
the cut. God
damn. How are you?
It's hot. It's really hot. I'm hot. But I'm good. I'm good.
It's so refreshing to hear that.
Actually,
everybody's probably like, damn, they be good. What?
Finally, because I haven't said that in a very long time. Actually,
I'm
right.
so happy that you're good.
You're right. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm surviving.
Yeah.
I was not drinking earlier and I'm not driving.
Love that.
There are no bad bitches.
Okay.
I'm good. I don't know, man. I feel like 2020 all over again, where I was very, very excited about life. I don't know, maybe last year I was excited, but I'm very, very excited about life this year.
Yeah, I mean, you were so excited you brought a life.
Literally. So
that's excited enough, child.
I'm very excited. And that life is walking around like we were not ready. We did not think that we would have to baby proof so quickly. Like she got up in her cot. Obviously she was holding on, but she got up and held on and stands up now. So, and she walks around in a walker. So I'm like, where is the time going?
Miss Mamas is gonna start walking very soon. I'm excited.
I don't think she's gonna crawl. I'm putting 100 Rand on it. Betway is not healthy.
Yeah.
Do not have that app on your phone. But I'm putting 100 Rand on it, and I'm saying I'm with you. She's not gonna crawl.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Especially with the way crawling is just dribbling her at the bit, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, crawling dribbles her.
She's already skipping to standing and the walker.
She crawls backwards. It's a bit shaky. It's a bit shaky. But speaking about crawling backwards, I think that's what we should name this episode.
Actually,
you're still moving.
Okay, but you're just crawling backwards. It's just one of those things.
I feel like looking back on last year, I was actually reflecting on it, and it just felt like a year of replenishment. Yeah. Even though there were new things, there were things that were lost. And even the things that were lost, I felt like maybe I had too much. Maybe I had too much and I lost sight of a lot of things. And the new things that came felt like they were closing a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
That needed to be closed. And that I hadn't acknowledged. So I walked out of the year feeling very frustrated, feeling like, what new thing did I gain? You know, how did I prove my productivity? How did I this? How did I this? And I had such a big shift in how I think. I've had many shifts. I probably have a shift every week or every 3 months. But right now where I sit, I feel like my priorities have changed. My goals have changed. What I want for myself has changed. What I want for my family has changed. How I want to show up has changed dramatically. And I'm just sitting here like, damn, the times they are changing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, when I look at last year, I did an exercise towards the end of the year where I was kind of like, I kind of sectioned my life into these little like, these little departments, I guess. And I was kind of like just, reflecting on each of them. And I was like, oh my God. I definitely spent a lot of last year with my head down, just trying to accomplish finishing school, which I have. But, I think, and I'm probably it's probably gonna come up a lot this year where I'm definitely grappling, and I grappled and I still am grappling with the fact that it's done. And my feelings towards being done are very much like, I mean, I'm relieved that I'm done, but there isn't really much else. So that, I think that's why I'm sort of pouring my energy into like planning for grad. I'm like, I want to look like this, I want to do this, because I'm like, I'm not deriving much joy in much else. I wasn't deriving a lot of joy in that even last year, but I definitely came towards the end of the year. I definitely was very like, oh my word, I feel very purposeless. it was weird because I think I was very like, I didn't do anything last year.
I think
I
it
didn't,
feels like that when something consumes so much of your time and so much of you, and then when you accomplish it and you move past it, it's like, hey, yo.
Yes, exactly.
Like, who am I?
Yeah.
What am I left with to do?
Because
it's like
literally
you're an
other people had to tell me. Yeah, other people had to tell me like, girl, but you literally finished your master's degree. And I was like, oh yeah, I did do that. Because for me, it was just
But also, why must we achieve something each year? Like
also
why must we achieve something each year? Why can't we feel like we've closed this gap or we've gotten rid of this? Why must there be this big new thing? And like why is moving forward always associated with newness?
Yeah. I think
or progression.
I think that
associated with newness.
That might also be the reason why I kind of just didn't see it as an achievement, because for me it was like I'm closing this chapter. It didn't feel like, I don't know, maybe there was no fanfare, maybe I should have done it, but even when I submitted, I didn't feel anything. Every time there was a whole lot of nothing. And so I like your train of thought on that, where it's like, why does it have to be an achievement? I mean, I can already think about this year. Yeah, I got a new job and everything, but like, I can already see this year, I'm probably just going to be very like, I'm definitely an empty nester actually, because I mean, even hobbies, I think my colleagues were asking me like, so what do you do? And I was like, I have no idea.
I haven't been doing
anything. Like
I've been trying to be done. I haven't been doing.
Exactly. So I was like, oh my word, I don't do nothing. So I'm having to find, new hobbies, which is weird because I live with my parents. So even the crawling backwards thing is it kind of applies. It's not crawling backwards because I'm not moving backwards. I'm saving a whole lot of money.
It's just like you're learning how to do something, but to others it might be perceived as going backwards,
like a regression. I'm like
re-energizing.
Exactly. I'm re-energizing. I'm saving so much money. I'm going to be saving a lot of money, which is very helpful. I mean, my parents also just told me, they were just like, listen, just come and save money. So that, when the new year comes, you can just propel yourself in a way that you probably have never been able to. And I was like, actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I have a remote job. I don't need to be anywhere, to be fair. And I like that. But I think in the beginning, I did kind of feel a way about that. And I was like almost rushing to leave. And then I was like, I had to kind of sit down and sit with myself and be like, okay, but why? Aside from wanting my own personal space, which is something I've been very used to, there's really no other, I mean, that, and also not really having a social life here. But then I also didn't have to remind myself that I was like, I purposefully said, I don't really want to engage in social activity
right now.
I think that's also why I've just kind of let go of my Instagram for now and my Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to return, but I'm trying it out. I don't want to, like, Twitter is a definite no.
I didn't want to return, and then like I was bored. I got back into it. And then now it's like, I don't like it, but it's so hard to leave.
Yeah.
It's not a great place to be. And I'm probably gonna leave by March.
Yeah.
That's the deadline I'm setting for myself. Because it's like nobody needs to know what I'm thinking. I know this sounds weird because I'm literally on a podcast sharing my thoughts, but I feel like it's so much more difficult to control. No, but outside of that, it's like it's so much difficult to control how much you're sharing on Twitter. I don't know if I'm the only one that struggles with. Like, you literally find yourself wanting to be like, oh my god, I completely forgot to tie my shoelaces. What is a thought that I need to share? Like, I literally find myself, you'll be like, oh, it's so silly, such and such happened, and it's like,
why did I share that?
I wouldn't feel the need to share this. I wouldn't. So that makes me very uncomfortable. That, like, I just feel like that site is created in a way that makes you overshare. Yeah. Like there's something that makes you overshare. And then B, it also just generally, not in the like South African famous people, I hate Twitter, but like it is so easy to be mean.
Yeah.
It is so fulfilling to be mean.
Yes. Yeah.
In an unnatural way, like even if you are mean with a purpose, which I feel like a lot of us got sucked into that for the last like 5 or whatever years. But then when you look at yourself, like, this is not normal behavior.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't speak
why am I coming out? Why am I coming outside of my way to be so mean? Like, what is I think that's also why I just had to sort of go. And then I also just kind of found myself being like, damn, why do we have to do that? And I was like, I don't want to be annoying and being on there and being like, guys, let's, I don't want to be that person. So I was like, let me just sort of bounce. I don't have much to share. And even then, for the longest time, my whole thing was always, a lot of the mundane is really what's happening in my life. But I really don't have anything to share. Like, there isn't really much happening. I'm not dating. I'm not doing school. I've got nothing to complain about in terms of school. Work is really just work. More than anything, I'm just really glad to be back at work. I think a lot of my colleagues are always asking me, like, oh, but like, how are you finding work? Because it definitely got, busy very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I'm obviously it's hectic, but I'd rather this than sitting and doing nothing. So I'm at maybe it's the honeymoon stage. I don't know. I'm at that stage where
I think like, you're in the honeymoon stage. How long has it been?
It's only been 3 weeks.
But also, I had a lot of trouble, like, with maternity leave, because I was like, I don't feel productive. This isn't mentally stimulating. I loved it in terms of like, I get to spend time with my child. I feel like I've spent enough time with her. I'm able to be away from her. I still miss her when I'm away from her, but like, I'm able to be away because I know I've spent a lot of time with her. But at the same time, I'm like, working for me in the current structure, I don't know if it's for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally giving myself cards open. I'm giving myself the month of January to decide whether or not this is for me, because I just feel like I'm struggling in where I currently am and what I'm currently doing. I'm struggling to see the value compared to what I was doing and how I felt about what I was doing with my child. And that's like very weird,
Yeah. No, 100%.
For me,
I hear
because
you.
I've been so much about productivity and then now for like 9 months, 8 months, I literally just focused on raising a person, and I don't know, it's the most fulfilling thing.
She's doing well. Look at her; she's so fun.
Yes,
she's so like quirky. She's funny.
She's a lot.
She's a lot. She's just everything. she's honestly, I can't wait to see her soon. She's honestly, like, you really did that. Like, I was looking at her the last time when I was with you guys. I was like, oh my god,
she's
like,
grown.
This is a whole human,
and that's so scary at the same time, but so exciting. Like, it's like it's weird because I always looked at other people who were parents and I always projected all of my fears, and now I'm a parent, and like, I am so irritable. I like the idea of somebody else projecting their parenting fears onto me just pisses me off, because I'm like, if you project this anxiety onto me, it doesn't serve me well, because now I'm anxious about how I'm going to raise this person. And then I'm anxious about how you're going to perceive how I've raised this person. And as much as we like to act like other people's opinions and all of that don't matter, I actually do value what other people think. I actually do value how other people are going to interact with the person that I have raised and how that person is going to show up in public, because I am responsible for the kind of person that they turn out to be. And I think it's a very dishonest thing to say, no, the parents don't matter, kids will I feel like there is a level of responsibility that parents need to take. So man, I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like, please don't project your anxieties. I think that's my theme for the year. I read this thing, I think I saved it, but this guy ended it with like, other people's emergencies don't have to become your emergencies. And that's my theme for the year.
New York, I think.
Yes, because I have overextended myself so much in the last 2 years that I am now finding myself fully resenting people, and I don't have them to blame. I have myself to blame.
Girl.
I literally have myself to blame. I have my lack of we can speak all this English, have a podcast, have like more than 50 episodes, and unpack and unpack and unpack. But when it comes to the doing, it's so difficult. And I feel like I've been failing the doing, like especially when it comes to boundary work, because we've been doing the work, we've been speaking about boundaries, but clearly I have been failing in setting boundaries, and in setting boundaries in a way that protects me and enables me to go further with the vision and the goals that I have for how I want to exist with the people that I love, and with society as a whole. So this year, emergencies that don't belong to me aren't mine. Yours. And I need you to hold me accountable. I need you to smack me.
Say less. Say less. I will make sure of it. I will tell Zay as well, like, girl, if you hear your mama,
bite her.
You know, just bite her. Make sure you bite her real good. Yeah, she's really out here. Oh my word. Yeah, no, I hear you. I think for me, I'm really trying to like not move. At the same time, I think it's okay. I'm not trying to move like a wounded puppy, you know, considering the year that was last year and everything that happened. Naturally, it could happen that way because I am sort of recovering from that. And,
yes. It
is, for those who don't know, I ended a 15-year friendship in a very not so great way. Not so great in that it wasn't ideal. It was a conflict situation. I don't take it back. I still don't wish her well. That's not going anywhere. Part of me though, and I hated that this even came up, but part of me it's like, you know, this person has no peace, and I pray for their peace. I pray for their peace for no other reason besides the fact that they have a sense of peace, and maybe they can come back to themselves and realize that, oh damn, before anything gets any
this
worse.
is actually what I did.
Yeah. You know, and not so that I can come back into their lives or they can come back into my life. That's never gonna happen. That one I'm okay with. But you know, I'm also not trying to like fast track because I don't want to lie. I don't want to hold a grudge unnecessarily. Obviously, like,
I love a grudge and I need to work on that.
I will hold it for now, for as long as I feel the feelings that I feel. But as soon as I feel like those feelings are arbitrary, I'm just gonna let it go. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't serve me anymore. It doesn't do anything for me anymore. It doesn't comfort me anymore. I mean, maybe I'm saying that now because I'm busy and I'm not sort of sitting in my thoughts. But I mean, I also have to be honest in that I'm not sitting in my thoughts in sadness because I feel like I miss that person. And I'm not trying to be tough. I genuinely thought about it. And I was like, I do not miss this person as a person or as a friend. I don't feel there is a void, not at all. And I don't know if that speaks to me or if that speaks to the friends that I keep who have made it so that I don't feel that way. I really just... I haven't sat there and I was like, oh my God, I miss my friend. Absolutely not. And I'm really grateful for that. And I hope it stays that way because I think it would be a very wasted emotion on me in any case, because what am I going to, like, what now? But I think I'm definitely sort of giving the idea of letting the grudge go and forgiving, not for them, but for me. I don't at the same time I'm like, I don't really feel like it's poisoning much of me, but at the same time
I don't know, I don't feel
at the same time I'm like, you know, I don't know, it's not like I don't really feel at the same time like at the same time I'm like, I don't
I'm not feel I'm worried.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm like, that train of thought isn't really necessary because it doesn't apply. I feel very much justified. I don't feel like it's misdirected. You know, I also don't dwell on it, which I'm really grateful for. I'm not sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is like last year. I definitely was because it was fresh. And I mean, I'm still like, if I see that person, I'm whooping her ass. That's for sure. It's on sight.
Yeah.
See, that's not gonna.
I need bail money. I need bail really money. Have you seen the price of formula? I cannot be out here using money on bail,
with all
like
this
feeding
money,
the state.
with all this money that I am going to be saving, living here at home, I will make sure. I will, if I have to send it to you every month, I will, just so you're ready
to keep that bail money.
Keep that bail money ready because
I don't. You know what? The way life works out, you will never see her ever again.
Right?
Every friend that I have, every friendship that has ended, I have not seen that person unless it was planned. I literally have not seen that. Like every friendship that I've ended, I've never seen the person ever again. Like literally.
I want that anointing in my life. I need that anointing in my life. So far so good, because actually we share a hometown as well. So actually so far so good. Because I also don't find myself being like, oh, I'm trying to hide. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't want to sort of like go into this year with like a wounded puppy mentality. At the same time, I'm like, oh, it's okay, you know. But I think when everything happened last year, and I think towards the end of the year, I was obviously very tired, and I definitely was like, maybe isolation is the name of the game in 2023.
I love isolation. 100%. Like when I withdrew and just kept to myself and focused on like this vision that I had for my family, for myself, like how I want to show up. That was great.
Yeah.
And then you literally like reintegrate into society and have 3 months of being around people and you feel so much shame. Like you don't know how to interact. You don't, I don't know. Maybe you'll tell me like after you leave your isolation, but I will isolation any day. Centers you find an anchor, you find a thing to focus on, or multiple things. You focus. There's no distraction. There's no online conversations stressing you unnecessarily. You're not taking on things that don't belong to you. You're just zoned in. And then I just wish that and maybe I need to do it again. So that this time what I'm working on is making sure that when I come out of this, I remain focused on what I have been working on when I was isolated. Because I think the mistake I made is that I isolated, I achieved what I wanted to achieve, then I came back out. And then it was like, I feel like I lost a lot of the stronghold on myself and the knowledge of how I wanted to operate when I went back into society and started moving from a place of this is what is acceptable within society and not this is how I want to behave in an acceptable way.
Yeah.
In my mind. Yeah. That still fits into what is acceptable to others. So I think that's the mistake I made. Now I think I need 2 months just to anchor myself and then go back, reintegrate and move from that place and see how it goes.
I'm definitely thinking the whole year. Because I think it's necessary because for one, like I was saying, I spent 3 years busy trying to finish something, busy trying to achieve something. It's done now. And I need to sort of find myself again outside of that, because for the longest time, that was my life. That was who I was. That was what I had to do. That was all over my calendar. It was on everything. And so I think I definitely want to take that time off to sort of figure out, who am I now that this is done, or outside of that, now that I actually have the option to start thinking about that. And so, I mean, I think that's also why I kind of had to get off of Instagram, because I think another thing was I don't know if it might sound weird. If it does, whatever. But I really didn't enjoy watching other people live while I was sort of sitting.
It's the worst thing ever.
I don't like it.
It's the worst thing ever.
We need to be honest with ourselves.
I remember literally the first time that this thing hit in my mind was when Zugiswa's dad died.
Yes.
And we went to the house, and then when we were driving out, and I remember the feeling that felt so familiar. And I think it was the first time I experienced it properly was when my mom died, where it was like everybody else's world is continuing and mine is literally standing still right now.
Yeah.
And I think when you're going through something, it is very upsetting that everybody else's world is continuing.
That's what it makes
and when
sense.
you're on social media, it is very easy for the loneliness that you feel to manifest in other ways. Yes. So that's why you'll find people feeling stuck, feeling, I hope like the word stagnant doesn't have all these negative connotations that like when somebody else is throwing it at you.
Yeah.
But then instead of dealing with, oh my gosh, this is what I'm feeling, and being honest with that, it's easier for us to lash out at other people. I completely get you.
Yeah, that's my thing. I think I was like, I don't want to find myself leaning into that where I'm now lashing out at people. I am feeling resentful. Even if I do, let it rather be towards in the right direction. I really don't want to miss that. I don't want unintentional resentment. Why am I feeling resentful over people who shouldn't be on the receive? Because now when it's you sort of misdirected, I then now have to deal with the guilt of feeling that. That's a waste of my time.
Yes.
And I don't want to deal with that. And so I really just.
And it's actually wild, eh?
Yeah, it really is.
It's like, wild because you will literally be on Instagram looking at other people's lives and you're like, how is everything that's happening in the world, how is your life continuing in this way? Exactly. And you don't know anything about their life outside of what they're sharing in that moment. Precisely. But the fact that they're sharing that, you feel some type of way. And people will say you have a bad heart or blah, 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 blah. If you are honest about the fact that I'm feeling left behind. Exactly. Like the one challenge that we're having currently is that nobody in our space has a kid.
Yeah.
So no one is, not that I'm feeling left behind or anything, but nobody is inviting us to stuff.
Yeah.
And when the invites come, we can't honor them if they come at the level of notice that they would usually come for people who don't have a child.
Yeah, you
can't be okay, cool, I get it. Literally, nobody else is. It's not that they're being malicious, right? But your mind doesn't tell you that. Like, you have to train your mind to give people the benefit of the doubts and be like, they don't have a kid and they haven't been around kids in a while. So they don't consider that if you're going to say something to me, I need enough notice to organize someone to leave my baby with. And I don't feel like this is making my life worse. So it's like, it's weird that you need to navigate these things at the same pace and be like, I feel like, okay, my friends are hanging out with each other. I'm left out, but I really am having a good time with what I'm doing as well. But like at the same time, I would like to see my friends in a social setting. But at the same time, which is why I'm very frustrated with Joburg right now.
Yeah.
There are very few social settings that my circle operates in that don't only involve alcohol and going to an event. So I'm at a really like frustrated place. And I feel like I've been at this place even before I had a kid where I was like,
100%.
I'm really over this Joburg thing of all we do is go to Groove. And like trying to cultivate and mobilize so many people is difficult, right? It's because Groove does something different for each person.
Yeah.
Like I might be frustrated with Groove, but you might feel like I've been in the house for so long. I've been focused on my thesis so long. I need Groove for this year, you know? So we're all at different places and you still want to be social with people. There's things that you want to do alone, but there's things that you want to do with people. So it's a very weird place to find ourselves in. And I don't think like we speak openly about that enough.
No,
because like, I feel very misaligned.
Yeah, because I think when people are like, when you're like, I don't really think there's much to do. People's like, yeah, but you can do this. And it's like, it's not about what I can or can't do. It's about that misalignment, as you're saying. Where I can go for a hike, but who can I mobilize for that? Obviously,
who am I gonna literally? And also, like, everyone's dynamics are different. People are like, okay, you're saying let's go hiking. I don't have the petrol to go all the way to XY. Like somebody doesn't have the petrol to go all the way to XYZ. Another person is trying to move up at work, so they have to prove themselves by working extra hours. Somebody else is this. We're at so many different places in our lives that like I don't know, when do we get to a central place. I'm always going to be at different places. Like I told you today, I was at Palo's school. And all those parents were literally there from like 7:45 and for like 4 hours, just watching the kids play cricket. And I was like, at the point that your life is now dedicated to this, and you have the time for this, and everybody else's life like this, when do we get there? Like, when do we find people that like fit perfectly into our schedule? And I think even the friend loss thing is going to become worse as certain things change. Like, it's not going to be maybe some won't manifest or end with a conflict, but things are going to change rapidly, where it's like that misalignment, we can't even link up anymore.
No, 100%.
So as I said, changes.
You may not really be, I mean, I'm definitely at that point in my life where I'm like, if I am in a social mood, the last thing I'm going to want is to be around alcohol or in a place that is anchored, because I can't, I don't, it's just not a thing for me at the moment. Hence, I think it's also hence why I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to isolate, because I just feel like there definitely is that sort of misalignment with my friends, and kind of where they are at and what they want to do. And I'm like, you know, I don't know what I want to do. You know, besides getting back into the horse and trying to figure my life out. I just know I don't want to do things the way I did them before. Not that they didn't work. It's just I don't have that thing for them anymore. And you know, I think also another reason why I also just had to hop off of my Instagram, I was like, I don't know how I feel about being observed, even by the people who I know, who know me. I was like, I don't know how I feel about being observed.
I get you.
At this point in my life. It's not that I feel shame. I don't feel shame at all. Absolutely
I get you.
Not. I think the biggest thing is like, I feel so raw, and I feel so, I feel like a sort of blank canvas.
I always never used to understand when people literally change their profile picture to just that black. So leaving social media feels like that. Like, where it's like, I want to experience this without having to worry about perception.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to experience this without worrying about perception.
I'm definitely there, where I was like, I kind of had to hop off of that, because I don't, you know, I very openly went through a lot of things on social media. I was very open about, you know, my struggles with school and all these things. And now I'm like, you know, I don't know if I want the next sort of phase of my life to sort of be out there. So that's why I'm like,
documented in that way.
So that's why I'm like, you know, I'm pushing to be out for the whole year. I'm gonna post for grad, because it's only right. You know, for that one, it's like, it's only right. That's chilled. You know, I at the same time, I'm also like, I'm unashamed about this. I'm like, maybe that's what I need to feel.
Like I can come back.
Like I can come back, but also maybe that's what I need to feel a lot more positive and a lot more excited about grad. That, you know, oh my God, people are going to see that, like, you know, I actually did this. I don't know. Because I am still sort of grappling with those feelings of like, oh my word, I don't know how I feel about this thing that I did. And, you know, I don't know if it was worth it. You know, I mean, it's work because I have a job. Also not being in the job market. But I think outside of that, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if this was worth all that it took. And I'm still very much there. I mean, you know, so I think that's also something I'm kind of like planning on tackling, even in therapy, to be like, you know, I've already started, and I think she was saying like, it's okay, like, considering everything that's happened, it's okay to feel ambivalent and to feel like, oh my word, I don't know if this is worth it, because it came with so much, and not in that like your feelings are valid type of way. I'm glad that I don't really get that because so there's some things I've been told was like, no.
Hey, I'm over that. Guys,
y'all are doing
literally,
too much.
If I can have a little rant, I
Please
think
do.
another thing that is increasingly frustrating me with social media, from a personal experience in my own life, is that sometimes we make the mistake of forgetting our own dynamics and our own like realities, and we co-opt what is being said that puts us in favor of like in the right position in the situations that we are experiencing.
Yeah.
Like there are so many conversations that we have dishonestly because of things like your feelings are valid, or and then you then genuinely believe that in every single situation, in every context, in all contexts, whatever you feel is valid, or whatever you feel has value.
You think that so much, and then you have no shame to say it. That's also another, and you apply it.
Literally. And it's like, no, that is not our context. That is not our situation. These are our realities. This is how you have behaved.
But
these
also,
are the impacts of how you have
behaved. Shut up.
Hey,
some of y'all need to
so
be
please,
told to
guys,
shut up.
like, please, me, you know what? Even like all conversations, I'm taking from a place of, I'm really sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
Congratulations if it's good. Sorry if it's bad. I'm not going to read all of that era.
No, 100%.
Because humans are so dishonest.
Yeah.
Even me, even you.
Yes.
Even we are all so dishonest, and we will use any conversation to drive our own narrative.
Yeah.
Like,
and also just I saw something about when you start to really like practice compassion, sometimes you really you watch someone doing some goofy shit, and you have to step back and you're like, I was like that too, or I am like that too, or whatever it is, and then I just have to shut
behaved like this.
To keep quiet.
Literally.
Like,
just change your behavior, reflect and change. Like, we don't need to do the performance, the song and dance part of it.
No.
Really
and
boring,
also,
but literally.
I'm sick of y'all talking about no discourse, and then you discourse, and then people discourse, and then you say no discourse.
And then you say no discourse.
Do you hear yourself?
People said no discourse, more dishonesty.
Literally, that's exactly what you guys are doing. And it's just like, no, maybe let's not. Let's rather just discourse. Just discourse if you must. Discourse it away.
All I'm saying is I'm done. When our conversations about toxic parents, when our conversations about toxic friends, we don't know the other side of the story.
No.
I'm done. I'm done. Like, I'm not weighing in. You share what you share with me. I'm so sorry. I'm not weighing in. I'm in my not weighing in era.
And y'all can say whatever the hell you want to say. She's saying that because she had a bad experience. Yes, bitch. That is. Okay,
yes, I did.
I'm trying to swear.
Exactly.
I'm trying to swear less.
Exactly. I had a bad experience.
I had a bad experience, and that is exactly what's informing what I'm saying now.
Literally, I have witnessed that people will take, if you give a bitch a narrative. That's what I'm witnessing, like live jive. So I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, how many people have tried to position others as being the ones that are like this when behind the doors they are doing XYZ? Maybe that's the story that's going around about me in the streets. So maybe people need to be fair to me. So I need to be fair to others. I'm really at a point where I'm like, in my not weighing in era.
And another thing with y'all's feelings being valid, with our feelings, and not to exclude myself, with another thing with our feelings being valid is that we think it's okay. We think it's okay to entertain envy outside of those necessary parameters. Sometimes we take it out of the parameters, and it's like, listen, do you not?
I feel like envy should not exist beyond. It should not exist beyond acknowledgement. Like, oh damn, I'm feeling like this. Okay,
when you now want to speak it out, and you now are getting that's also another thing. We get drunk from attention. That's another thing. We speak it out, we get attention. People are like, oh my god, ooh. And then here you are. Your envy is also being validated. In fact, your enacting of your envy or your public proclaiming or proclamation of your envy is now being validated, and you feel good. Let's not do that. Let us not do that. That is not okay. The lengths people are going in the name of envy is very dangerous.
Wild.
On some serious stuff.
Wild.
I am not joking. People are doing
scary.
Very,
we
very
literally,
scary.
You know what? The other day, I was literally thinking,
Speak
I was
to
like,
your friends.
I was like, grown-ups when I was a kid would warn you so much about jealousy, and then you grow up and you're in your early 20s and you're like, oh, you have to be so insecure to believe that people are jealous of you, or like people are operating from a place of jealousy. And then you get older and your eyes are like, hey, yo, the lengths that envy, if it's not snip, 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 snip from the beginning.
Hey, yo, nip that thing in the bud. No jokes. If you are on Instagram or Twitter or whatever,
and
you're
we
seeing
all
someone,
feel envy.
We all do. And you're seeing someone live and you're feeling your heart is contracting.
Leave that space.
Leave that space. Leave that space. Even let me get into my Bible bag. The Bible says if you see something with your eyes and it's not a good thing, I'm paraphrasing, you gotta gouge that eye out. And so if you have to do that, you can do that. I think it's okay. Like you don't have to target, unfollow that person, maybe unfollow that person as well.
Because it's
no
too
hard
much.
feelings. Because it's too much, guys. It's too much. And things are tough.
It's our tough, age mates.
That's my thing.
Literally, and they're gonna get worse.
Things are tough. The economy is so bad, guys. Like things are so bad. Load shedding is not helping. It is, just seeing the shift. The quality of our life is decreasing because of just common load shedding. Just because of load shedding. It's making people crankier. People are meaner. People are, just so many things. And so let's not think that we're exempt from these things. Let's not think we're above these things. I'm not just talking about, people outside of myself. I'm talking about myself as well, where it's like, that's why I was saying I left Instagram, because I was like, I don't want to find myself in a stage of my life where I am entertaining envy during a time where I am replenishing, where I am regaining, where I'm rebuilding, where I have nothing to show, but there's a whole lot happening in the background. I don't want to find myself entertaining those feelings and those emotions. And so we really, really do need to, it's just so much we need to do, y'all. We really do need to do these things, but just don't let social media people gas you. Let's not do that. Don't let people validate those
people
things.
will gas you. No, I'll tell you one thing from personal experience. In the moment, people will gas you at your lowest, at your most insecure, and make you feel like what you're doing is okay. And then when people are pulling that out to use it against you, all those people will be there as well saying, how could someone say this? How could someone be like this? That time, in the moment when it was happening, they were there cheering you on. So, hey, yo. And I feel like
the same people that hype you up will break you down.
Well, literally, and they will clap for when somebody is brave enough to come back and be like, how could so-and-so say this? That time they were there clapping for you. I promise you. Because as humans, I believe we are inherently good, but the issues that we have often manifest in the weirdest of ways and make us do the weirdest of things just to find some level of joy. We need to find healthier ways to source joy. And I think we've just been conditioned to do whatever to get above the other. And we just need to take a step back.
100%. I'm with you.
So,
to conclusion.
top, I like doing this to you.
Yes.
Top 3 things that you want for yourself this year.
Top 3 things that I want for myself this year. Replenishment. To get some hobbies. I really am looking forward to getting some hobbies and lots of money. Definitely, those are my top 3 things.
Yes, money is always a good idea.
Actually, wait, no, money is like a 3.1, but I think I think being more centered, being more grounded is really the biggest thing. Having something to be accountable to. I think, yeah, that's definitely it. What about you?
I think for me, number one is more joy, and more joy in the sense that creating joy for myself, experiencing the joy, living within the joy, and not living in fear when experiencing joy.
Yeah.
Number two is definitely new city. Like I need it to materialize. I need it to happen in the way that I want it to happen in, and I need it to happen in a way that brings me joy. And then number three, I would say, is healthier relationships. Healthier relationships in a way that I can set and verbalize boundaries. I don't have to be sneaky about the boundaries that I want to set. I don't have to feel ashamed. I don't have to feel like I feel like we often have to be so weird about setting boundaries. I want to be more confident and courageous so that I can set boundaries in a way that is healthy for me and the person that I'm interacting with. I also want to not overextend myself. I want to not attach ego into how I help others, ego into how I feel like others don't show up for me. I want to be more vulnerable. Because I think that's healthy. I want to be able to say I need help. I want to be able to say I feel like you're not showing up for me. I want to be able to say thank you for showing up for me. You know, so I want to get rid of shame in my relationships. I want to be more present, and I just want to be more courageous. Like I need more courage. So those are my top three. You guys could please let us know your top three. Also, we're coming for your pockets. Merch is going to drop.
If you filled in the survey, you got a nice little cute email.
You probably got an email.
If you want to be part of our newsletter, I think if you want to be part of our newsletter, what I will do, I will create a Google Form link where you can sign up. And we can start sort of giving updates on there. We might even start doing updates for the podcast itself. Who knows? But we'll see. But for now, it'll just be for the merch. But we might even start.
You might even start blogging. You never know.
Okay.
We might even answer questions on paper. You never know. So
a website might really be needed very soon.
Literally. Very, very so soon. Love you guys. I love you loads. So HPD. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things, and save some money to buy some S and Go merch so that we can put little Zazzle through school.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.